Okay. We've got the thumbs up from the student tech staff, so we're good to go. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Meet the Candidates Forum for the Galway School Board elections. All 5 candidates on the ballot were invited, and all of the candidates are in attendance. There are 3 seats available. This event was organized by the Galway Central School District and is moderated by the League of Women Voters of Saratoga County. It will be live streamed and recorded and posted on the school district website. League rules require that if a Meet the Candidates event is recorded, it must be broadcast or rebroadcast in its entirety. With that in mind, we ask audience members to refrain from filming any portion of this evening's event. If we see someone videotaping, we will stop the event until the phone or camera is put away. And this is a good time for me to remind everyone to silence your devices. My name is Anne Marie Pendergast. I am a member of the League of Women Voters of Saratoga County. I live in the town of Greenfield, and I will be your moderator tonight. The League of Women Voters of Saratoga County is a nonpartisan, volunteer political organization dedicated to the informed and responsible participation of citizens in government. The League never supports or opposes any political party or candidate. This has been League policy since 1920. Membership is open to anyone who is eligible to register and vote. So please consider joining your local league. I would like to thank the Galway Central School District for arranging this event and for you, the audience, for attending and watching. I know some of you may have strong opinions about the issues that are being discussed tonight. However, I will insist that the candidates and the audience treat each other with respect. Please refrain from cheering, applauding, making comments, or otherwise interrupting the proceedings. We have 5 candidates this evening, and we want to give them a chance to answer as many questions as possible. With this in mind, I also ask that the audience hold all your applause until all the candidates finish their closing statements. We received questions from the public in advance. These were reviewed by League members, and questions were selected to be representative and to avoid redundancy. Questions of a personal nature are never included. Candidates, this is your opportunity to let voters know your stance on these topics and how you will address the issues facing this community and school district. Please do not waste time tearing down or labeling your opponent. In your closing, please do not put your opponents on the spot. We have 2 timers for this evening's event who will hold up signs for the candidates to glance at. Green means 1 minute left, yellow means 30 seconds left, and red means stop. Time is up. The names of the 5 candidates for the 3 school board seats in alphabetical order are Jay Anderson, Kristen Anaszewski, Stacy Caruso-Sharp, Janine Flinton, and Charles Graff. Now, it is time to hear their 2-minute opening statements. They've drawn lots to determine the order that they'll go in tonight. So the first to speak is Charles.
Good evening. I'm Corey Graff, a Galway parent married to my wife, Lori Graff, with daughters Brielle in 8th grade and Paige in 2nd grade. We moved here 10 years ago from the Amsterdam area, drawn by the good schools and taxes. My family joined the Galway Baseball and Softball League with Brielle's T-ball debut. I'm now in my 2nd year coaching an 8U softball team with my daughter Paige. It has been very rewarding for me. For nearly 14 years, I've worked at GE Research as a technician, testing locomotive engines and then jet engine materials, while always improving systems along the way. I have a mechanical engineering degree from Clarkson University, and I'm a professional problem solver. I'm running for the board to bring my GE experience using fresh eyes, the way we do in our design reviews, to spot opportunities for continuous improvement. My work reveals technology's future, inspiring ideas to incorporate in our classes, such as kits to introduce electronics, mechanical systems, and coding. I'm driven to serve our school, fostering opportunity for every student. Coaching has shown my team building. I encourage parents to collaborate and participate in our practices and ideas, spark ideas. We're stronger when we're working together as a team. As my kids tend to remind me, no one knows everything, so I'll listen, learn, and collaborate. I'll be the fresh eyes and bring my creativity and analysis with a spirit of teamwork to the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen?
Hi everyone, my name is Kristen Anazuski. I am an occupational therapist. I work in home care setting. I live in Galway with my husband Mike and our two sons. Well, one is still home. The other one graduated from Galway last year, and our youngest is in 10th grade now. I've had the opportunity to serve on the board since last October, when a position opened up that I was able to fill, and that concludes this May, so here I am again. I've really enjoyed being able to work with fellow board members and the community, the district, to focus on communication and transparency within the district and the problems that come up or the concerns. Trying to get community involvement has been a focus of ours, looking at how to proceed with the school and what path to take. Volunteering has always been something that I enjoy and feels important to me. So I look forward to hopefully continuing to serve on the board for the next 4 years to continue to promote positivity and growth and strength to our district. That's it.
Thank you. Stacy?
Hi, and I apologize, the phone, this is where I took my notes. My name is Stacy Caruso Sharp. I've been a member of the Galway community for almost 40 years now. My husband and I raised our children here, along with various birds, dogs, bunnies, guinea pigs, and we're very happy with their school experiences. The kids, not the pets. I retired from a neighboring district after spending 38 years in public education, and at that time I ran for the school board as a way to give back to our community. My experiences as a parent and as an educator help in guiding my decision making concerning issues related to the school. For me, the main focus is always, how do we give our students the best possible educational experience while being fiscally responsible to our community? I'm completing my second term on the school board, and I am proud of the numerous opportunities that we offer to our students and for their many accomplishments in academics, music, sports, and other extracurricular activities. I'm grateful to our entire school staff and community for making these opportunities available to our kids. Our administrators, teachers, and all school-related professionals work hard to create a welcoming, healthy, and clean environment that is not only a great place to learn, but a wonderful asset to our community. In my free time, I enjoy golfing, bocce, bowling, reading book clubs, seeing shows, transporting injured and orphaned wildlife for local volunteer rehabilitators, and spending time with family and friends. I feel that I still have more to contribute and would be honored to work for our students and community with another term on the school board. Thank you.
Thank you. Jay?
Hi, hello everybody. I'm Jay Anderson, most of you know me. Somebody said to me the other day, we know what you've done on the school board, but we have no clue where you grew up at. So I'm gonna give you a brief history of me. I grew up in a small town in Kansas, 13 kids in my graduating class, so you didn't have to work very hard to make a varsity team. I played baseball, softball, and participated in band and glee club. After graduating high school, I joined the Navy, and I spent 11 years in the nuclear power program writing submarines and teaching various college courses at Navy people at West Milton. In the Navy, my tenure, I spent 52 weeks at San Francisco in electronics technician school, which was the age of the flower children, so that was quite an experience. After that, I went to nuclear power school at Bay Bridge, Maryland for 6 months, where we took all the engineering courses and completed 4 years of college courses in 6 months, 12 hours a day, 6 months in every full week. So we didn't have any history or anything like that. Okay, next of all, after that, I come up here and I met my wife and been married for 58 years. I've been on the school board for in the excess of 24 years. What I'm most proud of is our AP courses and our college courses that we put in this school. I've never met anybody I couldn't learn from, and I always take input from students, staff, and the community. I feel all students should be treated with dignity and respect, and make sure that they're successful citizens. And I just thank you for all for supporting me over the last few terms, and hope you'll support me again. Thank you very much.
Go ahead, Janine, sorry.
Hi, my name is Janine Flinton, and we moved here in 1992. My husband Patrick is originally from Galway and went to Galway School. For the past 20 years, I have been a teacher here at Galway, and I've taught everything from 6th grade math to 1st grade to 4th grade. So I feel like I've almost taught every student in this school. In 2014, I was afforded the opportunity to take a training in a program called Project Lead the Way, which is a STEM program. And I originally just wanted to bring it to my 4th grade science class, but took the training and found it was a wonderful STEM program, and was afforded the opportunity to teach it to grades K through 6. I did that until 2022, and at that time, the district was having difficulty finding a science teacher. So I moved into a science teaching position in the junior senior high school, and I now teach 7th grade, 8th grade science, and zoology, environmental science, and principles of biomedical science. So I've had worn many hats in this school. I also have had leadership roles as CTE department head, and I am now the science department head. So I've gotten the opportunity to work with administration. I have 2 children that graduated from Galway, so I've also worn the parent hat here, and have had that experience. I've been an active member in things like Galway PTSA, and I truly feel that for a small district, we have a lot to offer our students. And as running for the school board, I really hope to be a part of shaping the future of the district, and I believe in shared decision-making and collaborative efforts to formulate policies for the school. Thank you.
Thanks, Janine. Now it's time for our questions. Candidates will have up to 1.5 minutes to respond to each question. You're not required to respond. You may pass if you wish. Each candidate will be afforded 2 opportunities to request an additional minute during the questions and answers to expand on your answer or to provide a rebuttal. Please hold up your red card and wait to be acknowledged by me before you begin your extra minute. The timer will start the clock. Questions will be directed to candidates in rotation so that everyone gets a chance to respond first. The first question will go to Charles, and then we'll go from there. So the first question, if at any point you want me to repeat the question, just ask. There's 5, so it's a long road. The first question is, what do you see as the greatest challenges currently facing this school district? What are its greatest strengths?
Well, as far as our strengths, we have a solid school already. We have a lot of good teachers. We have a lot of good programs. We have a lot of involved people that are helping. As far as our challenges, our whole government is in chaos right now. We could be seeing some issues come down the pipe from that. We'll have to deal with it as we go. We'll collect our information and make decisions based on what we can do with that. That's pretty much.
Thank you. Kristen?
I think that I love Galway School. I feel like the community and the school, the teachers, everyone cares, and I think that's what makes our community such a special place to be and live, and that's why I want to continue my service on the board to support that. So I think that's probably our primary strength, is the strength our community as a whole, including the district, the students, the families, everyone who lives here, the people who work here. That's a huge asset for us. For our room for improvement, I think that the primary thing that I've noticed and heard is difficulties with communication, getting information out across to the community, people who aren't involved in the school directly with children or working here. It's difficult to find out what's going on and just details and updates and all that. So I think that that is probably one of the greatest areas for improvement. And I like communicating and working with people and bridging the gap. So I think I would be helpful in facilitating improvement.
Thank you. Stacy?
So the greatest strengths, I think Galway has a lot. I know we were always very happy when our kids were in school here, and things have changed so much, and it really isn't that long of a time. But I agree that small community feeling. If someone needs help, everybody is there. In school, I know with kids are kids, but I think because we're a small school, kids feel that they belong, and that's what we have encouraged as a school board, as administrators, to have all kids feel that they belong here and they should be here and there is a place for them. So if there are problems, they have somebody that they feel connected with and they could go to them for help. Communication can always be improved on, and we've worked hard on that, and I think that has improved. I look at the resources for parents, the apps that are available, the notifications, and I think that is helpful, so that's a step in the right direction. I do see a challenge coming up with the bill that was just passed, the bell-to-bell no cell phone, and I think we have already started in that direction where students have to leave their cell phones in the lockers. However, they did have access to them during lunch or during a free time, but with this new thing, the bill that was signed, students will not have access to them even during those times. And I think that's kind of a good thing after seeing the information that has come out about what that's doing to our students.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Jay?
Yeah, I think our greatest challenge is a couple things. One is the state foundation aid. Right now we have a pretty good foundation aid, but if they reduce it, then the money has to come from somewhere. And we do not want to cut programs. And so money, the taxpayer is going to have to do the burden. The other thing is electric school buses. I don't think they're feasible in this area. There's been many studies been done, and it sounds like we'd need twice as many buses to do our runs. Our greatest strength, I think, is a small community, and the other thing is our staff. They're great staff, the community. I don't know of any child that when they walk into school doesn't get all the help they need. And everybody knows their names. They don't know them by number. You go to Ballston Spa or some of these other schools, and there's so many kids that the kids don't have success. We offer a lot of AP courses, and for example, I'll just give you a couple things. Is my grandson just graduated, he's in the Sienna, he's going to have his master's degree in 4 years because all the advanced placement courses. So that's a savings of like $40,000. So we give all these students an opportunity to excel, and also we have all different kinds of pathways. We have ag programs, we have engineering programs. So I think that's our greatest asset, is we give all the kids an opportunity to be successful later in life.
Thank you. Janine?
One of our strengths, or our main strength, I think, is that we are, as I said before, for a small school district, we offer a lot of programs. As Jay said, we have several pathways that students can participate in, and not only for those that are headed to college, but for those that can obtain things like for our ag pathway, we have an ag pathway, we have an engineering pathway, we have a business pathway, and for those students who are not going on a Regents pathway, they can also earn a CDOS certificate, which really will help them when they get into their career, and they can see that they have that excellent endorsement and have that knowledge when they graduate. We have many college credit programs for our students that they can earn college credit before they leave Galway. Some of our challenges, I guess, would be communication. I think we're working on that. We have a shared decision-making team. We have academic stakeholders. And I think it's a challenge getting parent involvement in those platforms where they can voice their opinions and be a part of that decision-making process.
Thank you. The next question will go first to Kristen. What do you think is the most important quality to possess in order to be an effective school board member?
Ooh, that's a good question. I only have to pick one? It's tough. Maybe versatility, I think, would be a good all-encompassing attribute. That way, because you do deal with a lot of different aspects, being other board members, administration, teachers, kids, community members. So I think that that would serve all those areas well, getting to interact and hear all the different perspectives and kind of assimilate them together for our to achieve our end goals of keeping our school strong and happy and healthy and keeping the community engaged and also supportive of the communal goals.
Thank you. Stacy?
I think it's hard to pick only one, but I think being open to listening to different people, their ideas, and being flexible at the same time, because things change quickly, things are moving quickly, and we have to be able to adapt to those things as well. I think when we're open and we're listening and things are happening and people tend to get nervous, which is, of course, you would expect that, but if we listen to each other and we work together, I think that we progress a lot further than when people get angry or just go after each other. So I think being open and being able to listen to one another.
Thank you. Jay?
Yes, I happen to agree with Stacy on everything she said. One of the things I think you really need to do is listen to everybody. You know, students have some really good ideas, and sometimes they're put in the background and not paid much attention to. And one of the things that you see more and more on the news is parents being more involved in school and listening to the parents. And, you know, we're educating their kids, and we have a responsibility to them, too. So I think you got to be very diverse, and you got 7 people on a board, and that brings a lot of diversity. And we don't always agree, but we always try to come up with the best solution for the kids, because we're here for the kids. And like I say, we need to provide a quality education at a reasonable price for the community. And right now, I think we're doing that. And one of the things that bothers me a little bit is our teachers are very good here now, but you know, down the road, they've increased retirement is not as good as it used to be. So you're seeing less teachers go into the teaching profession. And right now, we have quality teachers, and hopefully we can keep that up down the road, and I think that's a real challenge. And also, there's not a lot of people going into administration, and if they're just hard to find. So there's a lot of challenges coming down the road.
Thank you. Janine?
Yes, I think collaboration is a key quality to have when you're working with different people, and I think having different perspectives and listening to what different people have to say is healthy in decision making. I think that through openness and transparency, and that it's really important when we're making decisions to get all the key stakeholders involved in making those decisions, so that we get a varied perspective and that we get the information that we need, the facts that we need when we're making those decisions, so that we can really use data and facts, and then also so that we make decisions that are the best for our students, our families, and our community.
Thank you. Charles?
Yeah, I think it's teamwork, and that encompasses everything that's been said here. It takes everybody to move the school forward towards a common goal, and we all have the same goal. We want to educate our kids to the best of our ability, prepare them for the future, and that becomes our future. So we need to remove obstacles and thorns that make it difficult to work. It involves everybody from the support staff, teachers, the board, administration. We work together, we remove the obstacles, the thorns, and we make the best opportunities that we can for the kids.
Thank you. Our next question goes first to Stacy. But I want to remind all the candidates to hold the microphone right pretty close because they're not very sensitive further away. The question is, how would you handle a board policy that you personally disagree with? And how would you handle a difference of opinion with a board member?
Okay, so this actually comes up quite a bit when we're discussing things. So a policy I didn't agree with, I would explain why I did not agree with it, and I would try to use facts for explaining my point of view, trying to get that across. With one another, we discuss that all the time. We have difference of opinions. We listen to each other. And ultimately, we do try to come together for what's best for the kids and for the community that we can do at that time. And that, I think, is the way we should continue working on that as well.
Thank you. Jay?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Sure. How would you handle a board policy that you personally disagree with? And how would you handle a difference of opinion with a board member?
Okay, well, that, like Stacy says, we do run across this once in a while, believe it or not. The thing I think you have to do when you look at a policy, you have to make sure that it's good for all the kids, because we're here for them. And you want to look at the facts, and if a policy has one thing and it's only benefiting part of the kids, you need to make that policy so it benefits all the students. And if we have something we disagree on, we're pretty good at sitting down and discussing it. You look at all the facts, you look at the data, you look at the recommendation, you get students' input, you get community input, you get staff's input, and you come to a conclusion what the policy should be. And there's at times that we have tabled policies because we couldn't come to agreement. But like I say, you have to take input from everybody, community, staff, and the students, and come up with a solution for a policy for the good of all the kids. That's what we're here for. Thank you.
Thank you. Janine?
Well, what's important, I think, is we're all starting from the same point, and that is that that we are here for our students, and we want the best for them. So I would always listen to why that person is presenting their viewpoint, and I think it's important that we're open to different mindsets. And in the end, looking at all the facts, looking at the information, and making sure that, again, that the decision that is, and the policy that comes out is that the best for the students, our community, our school, and that all will benefit from that.
Thank you. Charles?
Yep, there's a common thread going here, and it's the truth. It takes facts and discussing policies and supporting it with data to decide whether we need to change it or remove it altogether for the policy. As far as working with other board members that we might disagree with, you need to start from listening to each other to understand where you're coming from, why you think the way you do, so we can find common ground to come to a compromise or conclusion. Ultimately, we all have the same goal, as we've said. It's to give our students the best opportunity in their lives.
Thank you. Kristen?
Yeah, I feel like I'm stating, again, the same similar lines as everyone else, so sorry for the repeat. But yeah, I think as Stacy and Jay have said, this has come up a time or two where not everyone's in agreement. But I think using active listening and getting to take in the other perspectives that you might not be familiar with has been a part of being on the board that I've particularly enjoyed, because you don't know until you're exposed to different things, where you might have opportunities for growth. And altering your own perspective for the benefit of the school and the students and whatever the policy in particular is focused on. But as far as dealing with other board members that you don't agree with, I think respect is ultimately very important, because you can't have good working relationships if you don't have that layer or the level of respect, and you aren't able to show that to the other members. That's really important, even if you have a differing opinion, to still be respectful and give everyone their opportunity to say their piece.
Thank you. The next question will start with Jay. What should the school board do to maintain a respectful environment for all students?
Well, that's kind of an interesting question, because I think we got to set the standard, and it starts with our administration and our staff and the board members. I think we have to set the example, and I think a staff has to set the example for the students. Because if they find out that a staff member is not telling them the truth, what are they going to do? They're going to think it's all right, and they're going to think it's all right not to treat somebody with respect. One of the things that I've always prided myself in is I respect everybody, and I think all students should be respected no matter what their gender is, and they should be treated equal. The board members, I think, are very good at that. Like we say, we disagree sometimes, but I think we respect each other. But I think the thing that everybody really needs to do is be truthful with everybody. One person telling somebody one thing and somebody else telling somebody else something different, people see through that very quickly, and so do students. So we need to be very truthful, and we need to treat everybody with respect and challenge everybody, because you're going to have challenges through life that you don't expect, and some of them are very difficult. And we have to just make sure that people understand how to deal with challenges and go on with life.
Thank you. Janine?
I agree with Jay that children learn by example, so we have to be respectful when we are speaking with each other and in school, and as we interact as board members. We also need to look for programs that help them in school. We have a program called Ruler right now that we're doing, that in which we kind of can role play and give them opportunities to practice being respectful to each other. So looking for programs to encourage that, setting an example both in our with our staff and as we act, and encouraging them to come and participate in school activities. We have many programs called that will encourage them to be respectful to each other.
Thank you. Charles?
So we've had a rule in place for all time. It's the golden rule. You do unto others as you wish to be treated. And we do need to lead by example, and that includes having honesty and integrity, open transparency. We need to speak up if there's a problem so we can work on it. If you don't know, you can't do it. So, yeah, definitely the leading by example is a big factor. That's the best way for other people to follow suit. So I would continue with that.
Thank you. Kristen?
Hang on. All right, sorry. Can't write as fast as trying to think. Okay, so how to create a respectful environment for all students. Learning definitely takes place best when you can feel safe and respected and you're comfortable in your environment. I think I agree that leading by example, it comes from the top down. The tone that's set within the school is incredibly important for how the kids are going to respond, and you feel that energy and can pass that forward. So leading by example, I think having kindness is incredibly important, and promoting that among students, helping others, being there to support each other if someone's having a bad day. And I know that within our district, that's been a priority for the teachers and the administrators to really reach out to the kids and show that they're respected and supported. And I think that's a wonderful thing that I hope will only grow and improve, just to create the comfortable, safe space where kids, if they are feeling disrespected or have any concerns, where confident that their voices will be heard. They can go to a teacher, they can go to a staff member, other peers to voice those concerns and feel like they'll be heard.
Thank you. Stacy?
So I think everybody kind of nailed it on this one. And I agree, respect is super important and we need to model it. I think it's great that we have the ruler program that's been in effect for quite a few years, and I think that helps students identify their feelings. If they're not feeling respected, they learn how to say that in a positive way that it doesn't escalate into a bigger problem. I think it's also really important that we not only have students feeling respected, so that teaches them how to respect others, but I think our staff needs to feel respected as well, and that hopefully when everybody is feeling respected, they will show that respect back. I think that's a really big thing that we need to teach students. I think that was somewhat lost during COVID when people weren't interacting as much and kids kind of lost that, and I think we're working on getting that back, but I think again, modeling that and having everybody on board feeling respected will go a long way.
Thank you. The next question will go first to Janine. Is there a particular issue that motivates you to serve on the school board?
Yes. So what motivates me to be on the school board is I care deeply about the future of our school district. And I think that there may be challenging times, both fiscally and some hard decisions to be made. And I feel that in order to move forward in a positive manner, that we really need to have transparency and to have shared decision-making and work collaboratively when creating policies. I think that all the stakeholders that need to be involved in this decision-making should be invited to the table, so that we can get all perspective, all the information we need, and all the facts before major decisions are being made.
Thank you. Charles?
I don't think it's particularly an issue that's motivating me to run. I'm more motivated by providing some continuous improvement to make the conditions conducive to excellent learning. I do agree that the committees, the shared stakeholders, are fantastic, and we need to build upon that and incorporate it more. That brings us all together to work and bring things up that need to be brought up. And that helps with our communication. I know that that's been a theme so far. And we certainly want to work on that and keep the honesty and integrity and transparency flowing.
Thank you. Kristen?
Thanks. I don't have a specific issue necessarily. I know I've discussed, promoting positive, open communication and transparency to the different areas that are focused on for continuing to build the school programs and the school. I think that's just kind of an important general concept across all boards, and also creating positive relationships within the board and with our other constituencies that we serve. That would be my primary motivator for hopefully getting to stay on the board and continue to support positive efforts.
Thank you. Stacy?
So I don't think it's like one small particular issue that I have that is driving me. I think the big thing overall is how do we get the best possible education to our students here in Galway and give them the best possible chance when they leave, whether they're going on to college or trade school or joining the military or entering the world of work, because I think they need to be prepared for that. And I think things are changing all the time. And we need to deal with the issues as they come up. I think the electric buses is going to be a big thing. I believe in being green, but I don't think electric buses are real, the way they are right now are going to work here. Cell phones, there's always going to be changing issues. There's always going to be things that drive us that we'll need to find solutions for. But I believe everybody working together and being positive, we can give our kids the best possible chance. The advanced classes, I think, are great. I know our own daughters were able to take advantage of those, and that helped out. And I want to see those things continue for the kids that are coming up through.
Thank you. Jay?
Yeah, what motivates me to be on the board is the history of Galloway. It's a small community. I think everybody has the students, and their success is their #1 priority. I've been on the board for several years, and I'm really proud of what we accomplished. One of the things that we did years ago, kids wanted to do courses, and we didn't have enough to get a teacher to do them, so we put a distance learning room in. And so 2 kids could join a class and have 4 or 5 other schools in the same class. And so they got a course that we couldn't have offered without that. And then we added another distance learning room. And so we've made very successful students by giving them the opportunity to do the pathway they want, and I want to see that continue. And I think if you walk into the school over the last few years, the school cleanliness has really improved, and I want to see that continue because I did see it in shambles a few years. And so I'm motivated because I'm proud of what the school is, and I'm proud of this community, and I'm proud of what I've done and the Board of Education has done, and I want to continue it.
Thank you. The next question will go first to Charles. How will you continue to work with the LGBTQ community and make sure all of the students are in a safe environment?
Well, I think all people deserve normal human dignity. We're born with natural rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness, and we need to protect that. That's part of government. So it's all people deserve to be treated with respect and kindness, and school is a place for learning, and we need to make sure that we're capable and focused to be doing that.
Sorry. Go ahead, Kristen.
Well said. I agree that school needs to be a place where all students can feel safe and respected. And just back to the respect line that we've already all kind of spoken to, no matter your race, creed, color, sexual identity, it's important to feel respected so that you can learn and develop as a person. And so I think just promoting kindness and respect and is important.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Stacy?
I agree with that, of course. I think several years ago, this became an issue for some of our students, and I was glad to hear that there is an organization that the students can join, and they not only just stick with themselves, but they work with other students who are not LGBTQ, and I think they try to get people to see them for people, for the people that they are, for the positive contributions that they make. And I think that's a really positive thing, and I was happy to see that. Several years ago, we had an alum that contributed books to the library so that there are resources for our students. This person was an alum, did not have those resources, really struggled when they were in school here, and these were things that they checked with librarians and thought they made a positive contribution to the climate, to the students, and for all kids so that they could feel safe, they could reach out.
Thank you. Jay?
Yes, I fully agree with what everybody said, but I just want to say a couple more things about it. One of the things that happened in my history is in high school, I had a friend of mine who wasn't quite the same as everybody else. He ended up committing suicide. And so this kind of hit home to me, and I think we want to make sure that all the kids are treated equal and with dignity, but I think it starts at home. It's the parents' responsibility to make sure people understand that some people are different, but they still should be respected and they should have equal opportunities. So I'm very proud of what the school has done so far, and a few years ago, that wasn't happening, and just in the last 10 years, probably, I would say that we've really gotten to the point and tried to help everybody. So dignity and respect, and make sure that the parents and also need to be educated, not only the students.
Thank you. Janine?
I agree with what has been said. It's really important that all people feel safe and respected and included in our environment here at school. And I think at Galway we really do have a good support system for our students to really support them with their social and emotional well-being. Being a small school, the teachers really do a good job at being aware of what's going on in our school on a daily basis, and helping those students that may feel that they have need a little more support. And so we ensure that we get our students the support they need. As Stacy said, we have a club that they, so that people can increase their understanding, the students can increase their understanding of each other, and so again, promoting that respect and dignity for all.
Thank you. The next question will go to Kristen first. How will you ensure that the district's special education programs are adequately funded? And how will you advocate for increased state and federal funding to support the growing needs of students with disabilities?
So that's a lengthy question. So can you repeat that, please?
I will.
Thank you.
How will you ensure that the district's special education programs are adequately funded? And how will you advocate for increased state and federal funding to support the growing needs of students with disabilities?
Okay, so I think when there are different funding concerns, those issues tend to make it to the board. So I do think that we have good opportunities to know when things are not working and how to kind of alter or modify or adjust to promote improvement. And I think it's a great team at our school that is, I trust, to keep us informed and when things are not going the way that they should be going. And so that's how I think that should be handled. Just ongoing open communication, back to communication, and kind of altering things as needed for improvement when appropriate. And then for state funding, was that the other part of the question, right? State funding. There are, I guess, lobbyists and different other, oops, sorry, Corey, that's okay, sorry. Different other avenues to promote support on the state level. And I think those are important, that those voices are heard, and I think that's pretty much all I have to say about that. So,
Thank
Stacey.
you. Stacy?
Being sure special ed programs are adequately funded is something that when I was working and I had students who were mainstreamed into my class, or students that I pushed into their rooms, it was important to see how adequately funding and giving those students the resources they need, the successes that they can experience, and the growth that they can accomplish. And yes, it does take a little more funding, it takes a little more time, it takes some extra help, and I think those students deserve it, and as all students deserve it. How do we get the increases? Well, I think the state is really good at giving us mandates. They're not always so good about giving us the funding to implement those mandates. I have lobbied numerous times with our elected representatives and explained to them the impact that some of their mandates have on our district and what it would cost a district, especially a small district like ours. One student, to educate them, you know, if they have a real special thing, could really throw the budget out of whack. So I have no problem with contacting our legislators and letting them know what our needs are.
Thank you. Jay?
Yeah, I happen to fully understand where Stacy's coming from, because You know, special ed funding, we have, I'll give you an example. One time we had a student come in here and we had a $50,000 bill that year for education that student, and we got reimbursement the next year. So the only way you really go about getting your funding is to get an increase for things is for lobbying and writing your letters, and used to be letters, now it's emails. You can talk to your congressman to get funding. But the district here has been really good about getting the adequate funding for that. I know of no issues in the last few years anyway that we've had problems getting enough funding to adequately address our special interest needs. And that's a tribute to our administration, because they're on top of that stuff. Thank you.
Thank you. Janine?
Yes, I think it's really important that we, first of all, make sure that the programs and processes are in place within our school district to evaluate what the needs are. And then we have many experts who work with special needs students every day. So tapping into them to get their input, and then so that we know what needs to be fulfilled. And as far as state funding, promoting advocacy through our legislators, and being in contact with them so that they're aware of the needs that are, especially in a small school district, and hopefully that they will provide that funding for them.
Thank you. Charles?
Well, my honest answer is, I don't know. I would have to lean on relationships with the administration and the rest of the board to help figure out how to address funding issues. I haven't been on the board before, so I'd have to figure that out as I go. And that's where those relationships and teamwork really come into play. It is important that we keep it funded and keep it rolling, and we have to make sure our staff are well taken care of so they can do their jobs well. So, thank you.
Thank you. We're coming to our last question. It's one everyone's been waiting for, I think. And this will go first to Stacy. How do you feel about the cell phone ban, which may be going into all New York State public schools this September?
So, like I said earlier, you know, I thought originally that, okay, having been a teacher, having seen the positives that there could be from having cell phones in class, which when they first came out, yeah, there were great apps that you could use with the kids and get them engaged, but then the kids just kept going with it and moving too far and like not paying attention, and now they're on this, and so teachers were competing with them, and that was not a good thing. The data's out there about the influence, about what it's doing to kids' brains, and about their social skills. So again, I think that a bell-to-bell cell phone ban is a really good thing. I think it will be a positive thing for our kids. I think it's going to be hard at first, not only for the students, for the parents. You know, how do I get a hold of my kid if I'm used to having access to them? It's okay, you know, we could go old school, call the office and leave a message, and they'll get it to the students. I think in the long run, it will be a really positive thing for the students. I've heard from other students in other districts where they've done this, and the kids, they said once they get past that initial bump in the road, it's been great.
Thank you. Jay?
Well, that's an interesting question, because in the old days, we didn't have cell phones, and everybody got the word to their kids that needed to be through the office, and if there was an emergency or something, they got a hold of them. I think it's a proven fact that cell phones is a distraction to the students in the learning process in all the schools. I've talked to teachers that had cell phones, and they've had to take them away in the past. Now we have a policy where they can't have them in the classroom and they can't be used, and I think that's working fine. I think it's banning them completely out of the school I think it's a good idea, but I can also see the other side of that coin. Thank you.
Thank you. Janine?
Well, having to deal with this on a daily basis, I think a bell-to-bell cell phone ban would be really helpful and increase academic success. It's a distraction for students, and even though I think we've really improved this year with the policies that have been put in place so far, it is still difficult for students. They have them in their pockets. We can't, tell that they're in their pockets, or they might have their earbuds in, which is another concern. It's a distraction. They want to leave the classroom so that they can use their cell phone. So I think it would be really beneficial to student learning if the bell-to-bell ban went into place. And again, they said, well, what if there's an emergency? And I said, we have this thing right here. It's a landline, and you will be fine. So I think it would be a good thing.
Thank you. Charles?
I totally agree. It's a absolute distraction, and we always had phones in the schools. We can get a hold of people. I don't think that's a really great argument for having them in class. We can pre-plan pickups. We can call them after work or after school. And there's a study that came out pretty recently that writing by hand is improving learning. So why don't we put the phones down and go back to working with pen and paper? We're good to go.
Thank you. Kristen?
Thank you. Yeah, I can see there's definitely pros and cons as far as the feelings on this. I agree that the communication with the kids can be done through the office. I remember back in the old days when I was in school, it was all a doable thing, and I do think there'll probably be an adjustment period, some need for extra support and encouragement, while families adjust, parents adjust, kids adjust. But I agree that after the initial rough patch, I think that it will be a really positive thing to have less of a distraction and ability to focus more.
Thank you. It's now time for closing statements. Candidates, you'll have no more than 1 minute for your closing statement, and we're going to start with Jay. Surprise.
Yeah, I just want to thank everybody for coming. I just want to tell you that I have had 2 students that graduated from this school, and both of them have been very successful. One of them is Joey Anderson. He runs his own investment business. He's got 30-some people working for him. My other son is, he runs management for a Hannaford pharmacy, and he's very successful. I have 2 grandchildren left in the school, and 1 grandson that's attending Siena. And I'm very proud that they went to Galway, and I'm very proud of being a part of the school district, and hopefully I can continue for 1 more term. And I thank you.
Thank you. Janine?
Yes, I care deeply about the future of our school, and I think there will be some challenges, both fiscally and in other areas in the days ahead. And I'm hoping that if I were elected to the school board that I would ensure transparency, collaborative decision-making, and welcome different opinions, and looking to evaluate information and base our decisions and our policies on that will be beneficial to all our students, our families, and our community in general. So I'd love the opportunity to continue on, even in retirement, to contribute to this, to the benefit of the school.
Thank you. Charles?
Thank you for listening tonight. I'm Corey Graff, running to bring my engineering experience where fresh eyes spot opportunities to improve to our Board of Education. Improvement is removing thorns and obstacles, making the environment better for everyone, and opening paths to opportunity. We need this entire machine working in sync as one team as we move into the future. On May 20th, I ask for your vote to bring in fresh eyes to help pave the way for the students' futures. Thank you.
Thank you. And Kristen?
So I've been very rewarded by serving on the board, and really loved to develop the relationships and get to see the side of how things work, and to help lend a hand, hopefully, to betterment of our district. And as I said before, I really value positive communication and transparency in developing those opportunities and growth areas for our students and our district. So I would love your vote, and thank you all for coming out. and for tuning in.
Thank you. Stacy?
Thank you, everyone, for coming out. I appreciate your time here, as we all do. Over the past several years, I've learned a lot in my experiences on the board. I would like to continue working with our district, working with our board members, with our faculty here. In a small community, the school is the heart of the community, and we see that here a lot with Galway. And I just appreciate the opportunity to give back. I appreciate this community that we live in, the way people come together, the way people support each other, and I hope that I get that chance. I get your vote to continue to do that. Thank you, and remember Tuesday, May 20th, come on out, support the budget, and support our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Stacy took my line. Please vote on May 20th. Ballots can be cast between 10 a.m. and 8 p.m. at the Galway High School gym. I have been told that the class of 2028 may be having a bake sale, and the National Honor Society will host their annual budget vote barbecue that day. That's one way to celebrate voting. I really appreciate that. Early voting is also possible, and ballots can be obtained by submitting an application at the district office. You can call Linda Dombluski at 518-882-1033, extension 3224 for more details. Thank you, Galway School District, for inviting us to participate again in this event. Thank you to all the candidates for attending and helping to educate voters in the Central School District. I want to thank the public for submitting questions and the viewers who have taken the time to watch this event and learn about the candidates. And thank you, audience members, for showing an interest in your community and for being a truly attentive audience tonight. I really appreciate that. Good night.